Please allow me to introduce our speaker, Principal Rabbi Ariel Frisch, who is the head of Israel Sci-Tech School, Hanamid Yeshiva in Kiryat Shmona, the northmost school in Israel, bordering on Lebanon. In addition to his leadership of the school, Rabbi Frisch was appointed lead Hasbara officer for Kiryat Shmona upon the start of the war. He has appeared in many world-renowned foreign media outlets. Rabbi Frisch was also in charge of the evacuation process of the city in October 2023. Rabbi Frisch has lived in Kiryat Shmona since 1996 and has been the yeshiva's principal since 2016. He is married and the father of 8 children. Thank you for joining us today, and please welcome Rabbi Frisch.
Well, thank you very much. I must say I'm very excited to see all of you and to have the opportunity to tell you a little bit about my story. So let's start. I chose to call it Rising Through Adversity of the Story of the ISTS Yeshiva Matmid Kiryat Shmona, a journey of courage, leadership, and educational resilience in the face of unprecedented challenges. So who I am? I was, I got a little bit heads up, so I don't have to say much more than what was said before. One more thing that I think I want to tell you is I was evacuated with my family at the beginning of the war. And even now, my family is evacuated to Jerusalem. They did not come back yet. So I still have to split my time between being a principal and leading the school in Kiryat Shmona and going back to my family the weekends. So this is part of my personal challenges. My story starts at Saturday night, one day after the war broke up, when we understood the disaster and the horror that happens. I called the security officer of Kiryat Shmona and asked him a very simple question. Do you need me? Do you need me? Do you want help? I thought that since I was an infantry troop, I would be called to maybe be a guard of the city, part of the tactical squad. But he surprised me and he told me, yes, come, I want you to be my deputy. I told him, I'm school principal. I don't understand anything in the municipal security in order to be your second. He told me, I know you. I know you will be very helpful. And since then, until Passover, last Passover, just 2 weeks ago, I was serving as his second and did a lot of other things, which was summarized to 555 days of reservation duty. Another very interesting number is the spread of the school to more than 75 different communities. And the big challenge was how I can be 24/7 as a help and as a principal to all of my students on the one hand, and on the other hand, serving my country and my city. As a deputy security officer, I had to take care of a few main things. The first one is coordinated safety measures and emergency protocols. We were training for years as a city, as a municipality, to be able to walk through missiles attacks. Our methods were to live in shelters and give educational solutions to the students in the shelters. But after the 7th of October, when we understood that invasion could happen, and there is a life-threatening situation that living in shelters could not solve, we had to create a new protocols. First protocol was how to defend the city. So we created a tactical squad from 0 to more than 100 troops, and we were working on training it and giving it whatever is needed, like equipment, very sophisticated equipment, fight, having all the AVIs to help us, and creating trainings with other units how to defend if, God forbid, there will be an invasion. The second thing that we had to take care of was the ongoing life in the emergency mode. We had two main stages. The first one was between the 7th of October to the 20th of October. This period, Yachmona was not evacuated. We had to take care of the citizens that was really frightened and really scary, but they had no other option because the rich and the capable just ran away to hotels or family, but the other ones just stay in Kiryat Shmona in shelters and was really, really scary. So we had to give them whatever they need. And from the 20th of October until the returning at the end of February, the start of March, we had to take care of the people that refused to evacuate. It was about 1,000 citizens. Most of them are veterans or with special needs that could not evacuate because it was even worse for them. So we had to give them help with food, with going to take medicines and whatever. So this was part of our responsibility. We had to take care of the attacks, as you can see in your the pictures that I gave you. This is one of the first attacks on Kiryat Shmona, just a day after the evacuation. So, sorry, about a week after the evacuation. This is a total destructed house, and God helped us that this family was evacuated, because otherwise the big fire that was there would have killed anyone. And this is part of our job as the security team, to go to whatever destruction site there is, to save if there is people that are need saving, and to take care that the damage will not spread more than what it already done by the missile hit. We had to take care of drones and from other means that Hasbara used to attack Kiryat Shmona. Just as you can see, this is the map of Kiryat Shmona on your right side, and every round is a point of a great missile attack. We had more than 500 missiles and drones that hit Kiryat Shmona during the war. We had more than 25 trauma wounded, 11 light wounded, 4 medium wounded, 4 badly, and 3 residents was killed directly by missiles. We had a great massive damage in Kiryat Shmona. 28 direct hits, 22 public buildings like schools, like synagogues, like youth centers. It was massively hurted, and more than 500 collateral damage reports. As you can see, there is no area in Kiryat Shmona that was not attacked by Hezbollah. I find it very interesting to see that most of the attacks of the Hezbollah was psychological warfare, which means most of the attacks had a great thinking behind them, because they shoot not like the Hamas blindly, just shoot and pray that it will hit somewhere. They were sending drones to explore and to decide where they want to eat and when they want to eat. One of the biggest moments I remember was Thursday afternoon, 4:30 o'clock. We get a great wave of missile attacks that are aimed to our educational centers in the city, kindergartens, elementary schools, and the effect was very, very clear. They wanted the parents to see the damage and to think and imagine, would you send your kid to a total distracted kindergarten? You would be afraid. So you'd not come back to Kiryat Shmona. And as far as Hezbollah think as a terror organization, as long as the Israeli residents are afraid and devastated, they have the greatest win they would ever achieve, much more than killing. So the main attacks on Kiryat Shmona was all about keeping the evacuation as long as the residents are frightened and scared to come back. And this is why coming back and rebuilding Kiryat Shmona was the biggest win for us. My second job during the reserve duty was the deputy of the evacuation management. As I told you before, Kiryat Shmona was not designated to evacuate. Kiryat Shmona was designated to live in shelters, but we had to create from the chaos a plan how to evacuate and how to manage the evacuation, because we understood that this evacuation is unlike the evacuation that we had in the history. This is the sixth time that Kiryat Shmona had to evacuate during an assault. But this time we knew it is going to be a long evacuation. Another thing that happened here and didn't happen before, it was a full evacuation. Before we had only partial evacuation. And the third thing, and it was the great dramatic thing, was that when we evacuated, we were the last to evacuate, which means there was already from the south and the other kibbutzim and moshavim on the north border, about 160 residents that were evacuated before us, which means we could not evacuate as communities. We were scattered all over the country, and we had to create a way, first, to know where is everyone, to give everyone the means to go to its evacuation place, and from then on, give him the municipality services like social care, education, and whatever they need. So we create 6 mini municipalities in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, in Tiberias, in Eilat, in the Sharon, and of course in Kiryat Shmona. I was the head of the managing of all of these mini municipalities. We had once a week status that they were giving us their problems, and we had to create the solutions. I did it with my officer together for 10 months. Only at the last September, the CEO of the municipality took back the charge of it. But until then, we were in charge of every aspect of the municipality services in all the country. And this was a great challenge for me because we had to create a new initiative, how to evacuate and how to manage it. The third thing that I found myself doing was creating foreign publicity managing. We had more than 35 states, as you can see through the flags on the right side, and more than 28 local tours that I did myself, which was including ministers, ambassadors, journalists, TV crews from all over the world. And our main goal was to give Israel what should have been done, and is very, very challenging, is creating the understanding in the world, how just is our war, and how we are the people that are longing for peace and longing for prosperity. And we are not warmongers like we were shamed over the war. And it was a great mission. I think this was one of the biggest impact missions that I could have done. And I am very proud to be part of it. And from here, I am going to my main job, which is a school principal. As you can see on your left side, this is the map of Israel, and every red dot is an evacuation place. Just try to translate the map of Israel without dots and understand where we have residents all over the country. So the evacuation starts at the 20th of October 2023 and ends, at least formalistically, at the 9th of March 25. My school, which is a very little one, was dispersed to 35 different municipalities. And as soon as we understood it, which was very quick, and as long as we understood that we are not going to create an education centers of our own, because we are too little to create such ones, so we had to create another solution. At first, we were thinking of a Zoom like Corona, but very quickly we understood that this could not be the solution. It could be part of the solution. So our main solution was to help the students to get into the local educational centers and help them to create a normal life in those systems, which was very, very hard. We were in charge, I think, our main goal was to keep the hope alive, to help our students and their families, and even the staff, to hope to the next day that it will be better, to the day that we are coming back to Kiryat Shmona, and not lose hope through all over this adversity that we had to suffer. As you can see on your right side, this is my deputy at school and one of our students. When he had to go to him, we were visiting every student everywhere they were on the country. Our educations themselves, educators and teachers were displaced themselves, so they had to sacrifice their own private challenges in order to give our students the hug and the support they need. And I tell you, it was not only the students, it was all the school community, including the parents, that was on the verge of breaking at a lot of opportunities. But the true resilience shown through their unwavering dedication to the students, which I think there is no enough words to thank them, because they were the true heroes of the war. Our main ways and means to take care of our students was distance learning for very specific things. The virtual community, which means we maintain the connections despite the separation. We were visiting, we were creating, we were using part of the contributions that we get from the Sci-Tech Schools, Israel Friends, in order to gather meetings all over the country and gather all our students to one place where we could rejoice by seeing each other. I think I can't forget one of these times that I came from the army and I met my students and I see my students crying to see me, and I ask myself, why are you crying? And they say, we miss you. And I say, are you really? I didn't say them I didn't say it to them, but I said to myself, who is the student that is longing to see his principal? It's basically on the other side. But we were so much missing each other that even the students were very excited. We had to create a new approaches, how to be able to close the gaps between the curriculums, the different curriculums between the different the education centers and schools all over the country. And we had to create a new leadership because my teachers had to become more than teachers in order to give our students and our families and our community the resilience that was needed. As a final message to you, I want to talk about coming back to Kiryat Shmona. We came back to Kiryat Shmona at the 9th March, just a month and a half ago. It was a very exciting moment, but a very challenging moment because at first people was very scared that when we are coming back, the school will not function because only a third of the school came back at the beginning, not all the teachers. And the parents were afraid that if they come back to Kiryat Shmona, there is still the war risk. And on the other hand, could the school give a proper education to our kids? But we showed that we give, as we believe, proper education, a proper solution, and we doubled the students from this day to now, and we're still missing our other displaced students from all the country. But we believe that this is our mission and our Zionist goal, from displacement to rebuilding, from crisis to creativity, and from chaos to connection. We believe that whatever we've done all over this year and a half, by keeping our students in touch, by supporting them through whatever they had to suffer, and they suffered a lot. This is our future win and current win. And I think the Sci-Tech School Israel is in the front of it. We in Kiryat Shmona have 3 schools of Sci-Tech Schools Israel, and we have another one in Shlomi, and all the 4 together were the northern front of Israel. And this is, as you said before me, the most and epic mission to achieve in order to rebuild Israel from this big and long war that we long to see our residents, the abducted residents, come back, and we want to see them alive as soon as possible. I want to thank you for listening to our story, and together with your help, we will win and we will rebuild and we will fulfill our mission. Thank you very much.